Hi there, my name is John Blakely, and welcome again to Past Forward, where we discuss history and current events with an offbeat but hopefully informative point of view. Now, some of you may have noticed or may not have that earlier this week, the participation by Canada in the UN no-fly zone over Libya was given a second extension by the House of Commons. Now, this is important for a few reasons, but I want to give you a little bit of a background. In March, Canada began participating in military operations against the forces of Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi. What the no-fly zone meant in practice was ensuring that no Libyan planes took off to attack the rebels and attacking Libyan ground forces that were at the time on the offensive and attacking rebels dug in around the cities. Now, this is very important because there's nothing greater, more serious a nation can do than to commit itself to combat. Not only do you risk the lives of the individuals in your own armed forces, but you're asking them to do the ultimate. You're asking them to engage in warfare on behalf of the nation, and make no mistake, that's what this is, and be involved in taking lives. Now, whether you agree with the mission or you disagree with Canada's participation in it is really not the point of this video. My concern is how little information the Canadian public gets on their military. It used to be, if you remember back to the first Gulf War and early on in the Afghan mission, there were quite a few reporters with Canadian troops. There would be regular times where reporters would accompany soldiers on patrol, interviews with pilots. That slowly changed into the Kosovo conflict in 1979, where they didn't interview pilots at all until after the conflict was over, although they did interview the squadron commander. We got a little tighter than most of our NATO allies, who released video footage regularly during the Kosovo campaign of gun camera footage and of bomb footage being dropped, but Canada refused, again being away from everyone, until it was over. We didn't release any bomb footage, even though there were daily briefings at the time, until the conflict was over for operational purposes. Funny, the British, the Americans, the French didn't seem to share these operational concerns. Again, this is keeping information from the Canadian public, who should be aware of what the military is doing. And for the military, the people cannot support you unless you provide them information. Fast forward to Afghanistan. If you remember from the early days of the conflict, even within the first year of us moving to Kandahar, when there were incidents involving Canadian soldiers being wounded, the soldiers were interviewed. There were pieces filmed from Landstuhl Medical Center, a magnificent U.S. facility in Germany where Canadians were treated. Suddenly that stopped too, and information became tighter and tighter and tighter. You saw fewer footage, fewer shots of soldiers on patrol, fewer embedded reporters. If there were reporters there, when they gave a report, it was reading from a script in front of a sign at Kandahar airfield. What this did was remove Canadians from the conflict. If any time, and I'll say it again, that Canadian troops are going to be committed to an operation to battle, the Canadian public must go with them. They can't physically go with them, but they must be informed without giving away operational details of what's going on. Fast forward again to Libya, and the tightness on information has increased many-fold. Gone are the daily briefings from Kosovo. Very rare you see reporting from Trapani, Italy, where our 7 CF-18s are based, or aboard the Canadian warship there, I believe currently HMCS Vancouver. This is not acceptable. If Canadian forces are going to be deployed in our name, Canadian public should be informed regularly of what they're doing. Not giving away operational secrets, but the Canadian Armed Forces are the manifestation of the peoples of Canada's will. They are the people of Canada, and they serve you and me. You have a right to know what they're doing and how they're doing. So, because there's been so little information, I thought I'd provide you with some combat footage myself. Get my campaign hat back on, and we'll take a flight over the Libyan desert, if you will. Looks a lot like my bedroom, but or my workroom, but you can't really tell from this angle. You'll notice a Canadian CF-18, or something that looks like it, flying over Libyan troop positions, dropping a notorious green bomb, and again over Libyan armor. Direct hit. Flying away, again, back down, and back to base. So, now, that was pretty silly, but if you think about it, so is the restrictions that's being placed on the media in regards to their interaction with the Canadian forces. Again, do not forget, what's been happening over in Libya or Afghanistan or anywhere the Canadian forces is deployed is paid for by you, the taxpayer. We should not commit Canadian forces to combat unless they have not only the full public support of the public and the politicians, but the public has a right to know what's going on. Write your MP, visit www.dnd.ca. They do have some combat footage there you might want to look at and some information. Currently, Canadian CF-18s have flown about 862 sorties. That will continue since it's been extended for another 3 months. Once again, thank you for watching my video. Hopefully you like it, subscribe, and have a nice night. Thank you for watching Past Forward.